I'm your bull, I'm your bull. I'll charge down the fences for you. I'm your bull. There ain't no other woman gonna stray me from you. I'm your bull, I'm your bull, I'm your bull. I'll graze your field, I'll graze your field. I'm hungry and I gotta get my fill. I'll graze your field. And up over yonder, right between them hills. I'm your bull, I'm your bull, I'm your bull. Fight them wolves, I'll fight them wolves. I'll protect you with all my brawn and hose. I'll fight them wolves. Ain't nothing gonna hurt you coming out of them woods. I'll fight them wolves. Yes, I'm your bull, I'm your bull, I'm your bull, I'm your bull. Hey, I'm Hector Anchondo, playing a blues band. It goes by Hector Anchondo. My bass player is Carl Brown, and my drummer is TJ Quick Hands Lambertson. That's what we like to call him. We've been doing this for a while now, and all three of us have been playing for 10 years or so, kind of, in different acts and whatnot. The first group, where all three of us are playing, and yeah, it's highly enjoyable, and getting to play music that I listened to as a kid, reminiscent of some of the old country and the country blues. Even sneak a little bit of Latin vibes up in there. So the first music I was ever that I ever listened to or was a fan of was Mexican polka style music, like Los Tigres del Norte. I didn't realize how much I liked music until I started playing the guitar when I was 16. I was watching a Guns N' Roses video, and it was November Rain, and Slash was out in front of I think it was in front of a church, and he was just letting that bluesy solo. He was letting it rip. I knew at that point when I was 16 what I was going to be doing for the rest of my days. And no matter if I'm broke or if I end up making a decent living, I'm always going to do this. I have another band that I used to play with in a lot. It was called Anchondo. And that was more of a Latin thing. The younger days, and now it's, like doing the blues is, it's reminding me again, all these years later, how much I love music and why I started playing in the first place. Being able to mess around with, different tones of an amp, experimenting with different tones of guitars or pickups, different slides. I got this new guitar recently. I was at work in January of 2012, not too long after the holiday. I'm sitting at work and I made a post on Facebook, and I was saying that I couldn't wait to get a resonator guitar. I wasn't feeling too well that day, and I got home, and I walk in through the door, and there's this old beat-up guitar case sitting by the front door. I didn't pay any attention to it. I just assumed my roommate or her girlfriend. It was one of their guitars. My roommate's like, "Hey, by the way, there's your guitar." And I looked at her and I said, "That's not my guitar." She's like, "Yeah, well, some girl dropped it off and said, 'This is for Hector. I'm just the messenger.'" I was really confused. I thought maybe I had struck some sort of deal with Carl and he was supposed to drop something off for me. I knelt down next to the guitar and I opened it up, and there was this really gorgeous 1966 Dobro resonator sitting in the case, 12-string Dobro resonator. There was a letter in there, and it said, "Choose to remain anonymous. This guitar is now yours. And all that I ask for in return is that you play it and not hang it up on a wall somewhere." And I've been playing it every show since then. I've played it, and it's a wonderful guitar. The guy also told me about he had it over 25 years. Took it over to, he was in the service, and he had taken it over to Germany and Korea. So I feel really fortunate to have that guitar. I mainly tour the Midwest, and I stick between like 8 to 10 hour radius around Omaha, Nebraska, and that's where I was born. And St. Joe is like right there. Such a great spot to hit because it's a lot of places that we go to, St. Joe is like right on the way back. And it's also one of my favorite places to play in the Midwest. Each town and city has their own vibe of people. St. Joe always has a nice, warm, inviting vibe with everyone in town that comes out to the shows. And everybody likes to have a good time, and it's always positive. And I really like positive vibes. Grew up in Salem, Missouri. It's not too far from St. Joe. And I grew up 7 miles outside of that town. We got a family farm down there. So it was out in the sticks, or out in the boondocks, we like to say. Spent from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, because I found something that I felt, something that I was finally good at. I wanted to see for myself, just how far I could take it. Loved every minute of it, and drove my mom crazy, drove my brothers and my sister crazy. But it was all worth it. Getting to do what I'm doing now, all these years later, and all the miles logged, and still going for it, and still playing for the crowds, and still loving it, absolutely loving it. And I don't know what I would do without it, and I'm real happy to be here, and I'm really happy to be blessed with with some musical ability, and to be able to share and travel around and share it with others. This is One on One with Hector Anchondo, and you're watching Tuning Fork TV, and we'll see you guys soon.